Welcome everyone. Happy to host another live office hours. So we have some interesting news. We are happy to share today some recent deployment that will make a lot of users' lives a lot easier. But and also we have some news for as far as our roadmap goes. Ivo, do you want to do the honors and start with the latest?
Yeah, sure. So yesterday, we finally launched our public beta of the Copilot, which is going to help immensely with prompt writing. It's basically one of our web agents, which has the possibility to create a script for you all through with the best practices and exactly like how it would work the best with our engine. And yeah, it's a time saver, it's a lifesaver. Um, it's amazing. Yeah, our team
Absolutely.
really did very good with it.
Absolutely. I think the best thing would be to jump right into it and showcase that live. I'll go into one of our demo accounts and it's available even on older agents. It will just be there. So let's see if I start with this one.
Well, yeah,
It,
sure.
you'll see here now the new button saying Copilot. Well, there are a lot more functionalities that we are looking to bring to the Copilot. Once you click on it, you have the option to start a conversation. Let me just make sure that I'm sharing my sound. And I'll try to have a prompt. So this is our default prompt or default template. Now, let's go for a use case.
Maybe Dennis, maybe just delete the current prompt and then so it's
Yep,
more visible that it's what it's doing.
sure. There we go. So now it's properly cleaned up. All right. So let's go for a use case. Just to make it simple, uh, I'll try to, let's say I have a dental clinic and I'm advertising and I want the AI to reach out to them and ask some qualifying questions or understand what their interest is, and then try to book an appointment. Okay, so let's kick it off. Let me know if you can hear it. Oh, let me just click allow while using the website.
Hey, welcome to the Agent Copilot. Need some help with your prompt?
Hey, yes, I do.
Great. I'll ask you around 5 to 10 questions to craft the perfect prompt for you. No need to go overboard with the answers, just keep them brief. Does that sound good?
All right.
Awesome. Let's get started. Will the AI be handling primarily inbound or outbound calls?
Primarily outbound.
Got it. Outbound calls. What name would you like to give the AI voice agent and which company will it be calling for?
Let's call it Kim.
All right, Kim it is. And which company will Kim be calling for?
It will be calling for a Nedzo clinic.
Perfect. Kim will be representing Nedzo Clinic. What type of call will it be? Sales, customer support, recruiting, or something else?
Um, Primarily sales. It will try to book an appointment.
Got it. Sales focused, aiming to book appointments. How pushy should Kim be? Are we going for a bold, charismatic vibe like Jordan Belfort, a friendly, collaborative approach like Jeremy Minor, or maybe a mix?
Um, More Jeremy Minor for sure.
Understood. Kim will have a friendly, collaborative Jeremy Minor vibe. Now, what's the purpose of the call? Could you describe how a perfect scenario would play out from start to finish?
Yeah, so essentially, so since we are advertising on Facebook, our clinic, we are promoting our $50 off for any consultation or any Invisalign job this month. So the main goal is Kim should reach out to them, see if they are interested, understand their current situation, why they are looking for a solution like an Invisalign and instead of anything else. And then, if they are interested in claiming the offer, scheduling a consultation with them so they can come in.
Got it. Kim will reach out to leads from your Facebook ads, promote the $50 discount for consultations or Invisalign this month, understand their current situation and needs, and schedule consultations for those interested in claiming the offer. Anything else you'd like to add to this scenario?
It would also be important to understand if it's their first time, if they're already a patient of the clinic, or if it would be the first time.
Perfect. Kim will also check if it's their first time visiting the clinic or if they're already a patient. What tone are you aiming for? Casual, professional, witty, or a mix of all three?
More a mix between professional and casual would be good.
A mix of professional and casual it is. Is there any specific information about Nedzo Clinic or the offer that Kim should mention during the call?
Not necessarily, but if they ask, we are a new clinic. Right now, we are focused on providing the best dental solutions in Florida.
Got it. If asked, Kim will mention that Nedzo Clinic is new and focused on providing the best dental solutions in Florida. Are there any guidelines for what Kim should not say? For example, avoiding certain phrases or topics?
Is there anything that you would suggest?
Good question. I'd suggest avoiding overly aggressive language like "you must book now" or anything that could sound pushy. Also, steer clear of making guarantees like Invisalign will definitely solve all your problems. Keep it honest and professional. Does that work for you?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Great. Lastly, is there any specific information Kim should gather from the contact during the call? For example, their dental history, preferred appointment times, or anything else?
Yeah, that would be great.
Perfect. Kim will gather their dental history, preferred appointment times, and whether it's their first visit to the clinic. Let me put all this together for you. Give me a moment to write your prompt. This can take up to 30 seconds.
You can see it here. Writing the prompt for you.
It's taking me a bit longer than expected. Just bear with me for a sec.
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to be in that format that you have in the academy?
Yeah. There we go. All right. So we have a very well put together prompt with if-else statements, with the whole conversation flow. Of course,
You're still in the conversation, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, so normally after the creation, it will explain why it created it like
Looks
this,
like you're already
but
impressed with how it's shaping up.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's hitting the mark for you. If there's anything else you want to tweak or add, feel free to let me know.
Can you just tell me why you prompted it this way and why you feel this is a good prompt?
Absolutely. The prompt is designed to clearly define Kim's role and tasks, ensuring the conversation flows naturally and professionally. It includes structured decision points, allowing Kim to adapt the conversation based on the lead's responses, which keeps it relevant and efficient. The error handling and call closing sections provide clear instructions for different outcomes, ensuring a smooth and goal-oriented interaction. This approach helps maintain a balance between being informative and engaging while staying on track with the call's objectives.
All right. Thank you very much. Well, again, this gives you a very, very, very good, I would say, insert, and you're ready to go. And then once you're with it, let me just open it up again. Okay. Well, I love that we are in the testing environment. But nonetheless, it pushes everything here to this area once you click insert. And it gives you a prompt you can use right away, essentially. Of course, you can always tweak it and make some adjustments. But essentially, the main idea is that whether it's for yourself, whether it's for your other users, if you are in a white label, we decided not to say Nedzo Copilot for that reason. So it's just a prompting Copilot. And it will give you, I would say, on a scale from 1 to 10, will give you 8 to 10 level prompts. Does anyone has any questions about the Copilot? Feel free to unmute yourself if you'd like.
Pretty cool.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. A couple things that are coming very soon, of course, besides the speed, besides the making it quicker. A couple things that we are working on is one, not only creating new prompts, but also updating your current prompt. So instead of you just coming in and always having a new prompt, you can pick an agent, let's say something like this, and then you can tell the prompt Copilot, hey, I would like to make some changes. So we'll analyze the current prompt, and then you can tell them to make some changes. Or even better, if for some reason, let's say you are not seeing results, your prompt, people are just hanging up on you after 20 seconds, and you don't know how you should change that. You can go to the Copilot and say, "Hi, I'm having this problem. Could you improve my prompt so that I can achieve this type of results?" Eva, is there anything else that I'm missing?
I don't think so. I think that's everything. Yeah. The analytics, so analyzing the prompt, editing the prompt, creating a prompt that will be also available for public beta very soon.
Yeah. So this week we just launched it to a couple accounts. So if you have it, that's good. If you don't have it, it will come soon. So, and because this is a public beta, we pushed it out to a good number of accounts. And as we are making these small improvements next week, we want to collect feedback in the meantime, of course. And then next week we'll launch the updated version with everything. So if you have any questions, of course, then we will have documentation in our academy and all over the place.
Can I ask you a question, Dennis? What about can we have this Copilot to give certain directions or how to use the knowledge base? Something like, hey, if somebody asks you this question, go to this knowledge base and do this. If something happens, do this.
Yes, absolutely. So the same way I gave some additional instructions and I told them, hey, I even asked, what do you suggest to the Copilot? It will give me some suggestions, but I could also tell him, well, if someone asks about this, go to the knowledge base. Although the system automatically does that by default, the knowledge base is like an extended brain. But if there's a specific number of questions that you know that, hey, I want to ensure that the AI always 100% of the times checks the knowledge base before answering about these questions, you can just tell them that.
Okay.
And the best thing about the Copilot, it's like a team member that doesn't forget to take notes. So, and of course, as we're pushing more and more updates, our mission is only one. How can we make real voice AI as simple and easy as possible? So this is another step in that direction. We have a lot of requests to expand, a lot of requests, a lot of features on the roadmap. And upon analyzing our user base, we understood that where they were spending the most amount of time was on prompting and troubleshooting the prompting. So this will hopefully cut in at least 50 to 75% of that prompting time.
I think so too. Yeah. I mean, we were already proud when we started Nedzo that you could create an agent within 20 minutes, right? But now it's literally just a 2-minute conversation with an AI and you're up and running with a near perfect prompt. That is, crazy. I think we should redo our video that you can now start within 5 minutes.
Yeah, one thing I couldn't understand from this was like when she tried to say, do you want it like this guy or do you want it like that guy? Me personally, I don't know about both of these guys that she mentioned. How can we be able to articulate the right description for the tool? That's something I am personally struggling with. I don't know how to say, I want you to do it. Okay, I know professional, I know formal. There's a lot of words to describe the human voice tone that I'm not aware of.
Mm-hmm. That's a very interesting question. So our idea was to make it a little bit more playful in the sense of we mentioned Jeremy Miner as being a little bit more soft-spoken, or if you know Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort, like sell me everything. But the Copilot gives an example. Would you like to be more Jordan Belfort style, aggressive, upfront, more persistent, or more like Jeremy Minor, more understanding, or it gives a couple adjectives. Now, what I would say is that more than how the voice will sound, because that can be selected from the different voices, right? I would say it's more important to define what is the personality that we want the AI to embody, right? So even if if the AI in this case, let's say those names don't ring a bell, and you didn't even notice the adjectives. Well, you could just say, hey, well, I just want the AI to make sure that it's not pushy. I don't want it to insist too much. So it's not like hard coded to only take one or the other. The idea why we give some examples is to help the user, you, to make a easier decision instead of if you asked, hey, how would you like the AI to handle objections? Some people would take that as a very open and broad question and could go on and on and on and on for ages. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just we will evaluate, we will make it better and better. But if there's any feedback, we are happy to take it on.
I mean, if you could actually have it like there's like a template. If you have like I don't know, a certain scenario, and you give us like preset tones or preset personalities to convey the message of that template. Let's say, I don't know, a pushy salesperson, a very nice salesperson, a relaxed and blah blah blah, and then we can hear to the conversation or read the script of when you adopt that personality, the approaches is like this, or the tones will be like this. If you choose that other description or prompt, it will be like that. So this maybe at least at the beginning, so that when we say something, we understand how is that reflecting actually into the the AI itself. How is the AI behaving based on these suggestions? Because I noticed that when we add something to the prompt, for example, I once added something like add brief silence, just to mimic like a human thinking. But in the real life, it was too much, and people start to feel that okay, this is an AI because it takes time until it's actually respond. So we have removed everything related to pauses after that. So sometimes we don't know how these words will affect the AI.
That's a very interesting suggestion. So I think that's definitely in line with what we do, which is we definitely want to keep working towards that, which is making things as simple as possible, as easy to understand as possible for our users. So I think that's something that we can definitely look into. Now, of course, some things are some ideas are easier to come up with than actually executing them. So what we will always do is evaluate all our clients' feedback, see, of course, what is the most urgent improvement. But thank you for sharing that feedback. It's really definitely, I think it's something that we can definitely add to the roadmap so we can evaluate how potentially to execute on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. So, yeah, so we do have some interesting things that we want to cover, but so I would take the time. Abdul, if you have any other questions or anything that you would like us to go over, please feel free to ask away.
Can I ask you something that we started to face, which is obviously this topic is really new for everyone, right? So, I didn't see any kind of suggestions or anything about the legalities of these things. So I started to research on my own, like, hey, do I have to tell the agent? The agent should start, hey, at the beginning we said, I am an AI agent calling you, but you can talk to me like a human. And then we removed that. So I'm not sure if you could help with, and it seems there are rules and regulations in different states. So if you could help, with, if somebody having a database in California said, hey, California, you have to say this is a digital assistant, and you have to get the other party saying yes before you proceed. I'm just saying, for example, calling Utah, oh, Utah, you don't have to say. So it's okay, you can start immediately without saying that I am AI. So if you could help us with this regulation, because we don't want to, end up with a lawsuit ourselves. Hey, you sending me an AI agent without telling me it's an AI agent, for example. What things that we can remove, what things could be done. Because you guys are, the expert here, that could help a lot instead of us, speculating and researching and being afraid. Because, if we have a large database, we want to start, we want to start immediately. This is one of the things that actually preventing us from doing it.
I think that's a very interesting
very good question. What I would suggest here is actually keep a campaign per state, and then you can prompt the AI the best way for now. So it will say like, "Hey, I'm an AI," if that is required in that state. But it is a very good point that you're bringing up, that we might want to add this to the roadmap, besides having the local calling phone numbers, that it's also maybe using the regulatory, saying the required items in a conversation that's required for the law.
I would add that even though there are the legalities to it, they are definitely very important, and they will affect specifically more cold calling applications than any other situation. I think that's where most of the questions arise. At the end of the day, the whole point of these guidelines and these rules is not really to punish anyone, but it's to help avoid misuse of powerful tools like Nedzo. Because with great power comes great responsibility. And of course, we have the ability to call thousands of people per day. But at the same time, it's important to ensure that those contacts that are being reached out to, they are being treated with the respect that they own and deserve. So my point here is we should always think first from a logic perspective, which is, hey, normally, whether it's a human or AI, people who didn't request to be contacted, most of the times they really don't like to receive calls, texts, emails. Today, I received already 4 calls from God knows who. I received 3 text messages, and I don't even count the emails anymore. Not let alone the social media profiles. So everyone is fighting for attention, and for anyone who's doing cold calling, because I think that's where I wanted to spend a little bit more time around the legality. The general rule of thumb, and of course, I'm not giving legal advice, but the general rule of thumb between the FCC and TCPA, and according to the TCPA, is that unsolicited promotional calls to consumers are not allowed. This applies both to humans and AI. Also, according to the latest, calls using AI-generated voices are subject to the same TCPA restrictions as calls using traditional pre-recorded voice messages, which is something new. Now, the big gray area is, are we using AI-generated voices? It depends. Now, prior express consent required for robocalls, it's the same for anything. Marketing calls, sales calls, people should have requested consent. This is for B2C, to the consumer. B2B, it's okay. Now I'm just reading here from one of the articles that we have, which is the strict limits on unsolicited AI robocalls. And so the reason why we can't do that, the only limits is the fact that just like normal calls, we can't reach out to them. Of course, here's what I say. There's a thin line between what if someone opted in through any method on your website, but gave the wrong number when opting in, but expressed consent by ticking the box, right? So that's where the gray area is. And I think as long as we optimize and we do everything we can on Nedzo to comply with those rules, which is always giving them an ability to opt out. If someone says anything like, please remove me from your list, don't call me again, anything along those lines, we automatically have a DNC, do not call switch, that triggers. And unless a user, a Nedzo platform user, goes in and manually turns that off, no matter how many campaigns you launch, it will not call again that contact. So we already embedded the opt-out. We already embedded that if someone confronts the agent, the AI agent, whether you decide to give it up front or not, someone asks, are you an AI? It's pre hard coded to acknowledge. So yes, I'm an AI agent, and then deflect and continue the conversation. But I think that's a good point, and we, as Eva said, we will definitely keep working towards giving more or better helping our clients get and our users getting educated on this topic. And also just to expand on the things that we're already doing, the opt-out, we always have truth in the caller ID. So we allow caller ID, but we have the truth, stir and shaken framework. We have that already implemented, so that lets everyone know what is the entity behind those calls, so to avoid fraud. And but if there's anything specific that concerns you, feel free to drop the question to us, and we'll try to do our best due diligence to give you the best answer possible.
Sure, thank
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, on that end, I would like to bring up a discussion today because I think that this is something that it's becoming less and less relevant. But at the end of the day, it's very important to know, like, what is the best large language model for voice applications? Even though we know that there are fine-tuned versions of mainstream models. We have Google with Gemini, we have OpenAI with GPT, we have Anthropic with Claude and so on, and we have DeepSeek, we have so many different models. Now, some train on other models. Eva, what's your take? What's the best large language model?
What is the best large language model? That really depends on what you are looking for. But if we're talking about voice AI, I can say fairly certain that obviously, if you hyper trained your own model, that is going to be the best one for you. However, if you want to use a generic model, I'm pretty sure that OpenAI's 4.0 model is currently still the best for a year already. That one is quick. It has a lot of knowledge. It's able to hold a conversation pretty well. And it's also relatively cheap compared to others. However, though, what also is important is, of course, the latency. Like how long does it take before you get a response from the LLM? And in that field, of course, you have multiple players, but still OpenAI seems to be the quickest right now. However, though, I do see with the new Gemini 2.5 version, that one is really catching up with OpenAI, both in intelligence, in speed, not yet in cost, but they are going a lot better. DeepSeek is not really usable because it's relatively slow because they don't send the whole message before it's ready. But I do see a future where we don't use LLMs anymore because it's all going to change to speech soon. And okay, yeah, it's kind of still an LLM, but it's no more the latency will basically just disappear because it's not transmitting transforming voice to text and then text back to voice, but it's literally voice to voice, skipping the whole text part. Yeah, that's going to be even better.
Yeah, it's actually interesting. The reason why I asked is recently I had a conversation with someone, jumped on a call, and was talking about a more developer-focused alternative that lets users connect their language models. And I noticed that this person, they were very interested and very tech savvy. They're asking, which models are you using? How are you doing it? All those questions. And then for comparison, I noticed when going over pricing, it was very interesting. They gave an example of our 6,000-minute plan, the VIP. They said, well, I'm seeing here on the website of that other alternative. If I pick 6,000 minutes and use GPT for Omni, and if I use this now, if I use that, it's more cost effective for me going with the other solution. And this is where I feel that it's such a vast ocean and with so much information, and we consume so much information, especially on social media and everything, it's very difficult to explain how AI really works, how many different moving parts there are to the whole game to make something sound the way it sounds. And because some names are more mainstream than others, like it's inevitably GPT or OpenAI, 11 Labs, and Twilio, for example. These are well-established names in their own departments. But what I see that people tend to mistakenly undervalue is the fact that even the best large language model, the best being subjective, depending on the use case, can be outcompeted by an inferior language model with better, for example, voice to text, text to speech, text to speech conversions. Or, for example, with a higher quality cloud communication system than an inferior one. Or where as small as how quick or how quick or how slow the actual servers are, how the database works together. There are so many different moving pieces. But at the end of the day, for me, one of the most important things to clarify for anyone who's whether it's live or seeing this later is that with Nedzo, we definitely believe that the best large language model is the one that is trained on your own data sets. Nothing will beat an AI trained on your data sets. Because it will be your best team member, for sure. So that's why we launched our advanced knowledge system. It's not just a knowledge base. It's an advanced RAG system, retrieval augmented generative system that will interact with the language model and the entity that your AI is and will become better. It will score information. It will understand what is more relevant. Will learn from it. Will become quicker and will keep digesting more and more information. So if you want to know what's the best large language model, is the one that you train with the most amount of proprietary data.
Exactly.
That's my take.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. Like the hyper trained one is the best. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question about this? So you're saying when we upload the knowledge base or documents or websites So that's the AI keep learning, keep going there, and understanding based on the question that they get. So we should expect the AI doing better down the road when we keep updating these knowledge bases.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Basically, if it ever so the way it works is like, let's say one of your contacts is asking a question about pricing. It's very simple, basic example, but it goes to the knowledge base and it learns that this is your pricing structure. For example, if you upload that, then the AI will remember that. It's basically embedded in its brain now. It doesn't have to look it up anymore. It will use it when necessary. And this way, like if you add more and more knowledge to your AI, it will learn from all that knowledge and basically inject it in its brain, so it's less generic.
What about like something like, so pricing is very simple. If I ask you a certain SKU, let's say, do you have, I don't know, iPhone 15, I don't know, 256 black? Very simple to find. But what if I ask you, you have a phone that is 6.5-inch screen that is based on Android, I don't know, 7.5, and the range of the price is between 100 and 200. How good is the product matching here, and how can we improve that? Talking about the case where we have, I don't know, 100,000 products, and sometimes there are multiple brands for the same item. So how can the AI, hey, do you have something like, I don't know, Sony headset, true wireless something? Oh, no, we don't have that, but we have the Bose one that does the same and it's cheaper.
That touches on two things, but tackling the first one, that's a database essentially. Of course, you can upload a database with products, and the more and better structured information you have in that database. So if you have all those details, it will automatically be able to fetch them. So first question, can it do that? If someone asks, "Hey, do you have any Android phone between $200 to $300? Color, I'm looking for something black with 16 gigs of memory." Yes, it will be able to give options. Now, the key question is on the prompting level, how do you want it to behave? Remembering that when we first prompt it, it's almost like a child. So it's important to tell them, hey, when someone asks you for recommendations, give them always 2 to 3 examples of alternative products if we don't have that specific model. Right? Because this is how we were trained. We almost forget how we as humans were wired, but people told us in the past how to communicate. They told us that how to be polite, how to be aggressive. And now that's already hard-coded into our patterns and our behavior, so we don't need to even think about it. When someone asks, hey, do you have any other plan besides the agency VIP? I could just say, yes. That would be perceived as probably not very friendly. But if I say, yes, we do have other plans, I can go for the sales approach, ask, is there a specific plan or specific feature that you're looking for? Or I could go with the more assistant perspective and tell you, yes, we have 4 plans on the standard side and the enterprise. This is just trying to give you an example. So it would be behavior and information.
Thanks.
Perfect. And we are about to wrap up. It's 45. All right. I think it was a good session. I'm so looking forward to collect everyone's feedback on the Copilot and all the rest. As always, have an amazing rest of your week. If you need us, make sure to hit us up on the Academy, in-app support, and always feel free to join these live office hours every single week, Wednesdays, 1 p.m. Have a good one.
Alrighty. Have a great day.
Thank you.